Hello everybody, it's your girl Amma K and I'm back here today with another video. Today's video I'm actually talking. As my channel is called Amma K Talks, today I'm actually talking, and I hope you guys will love this topic that I'm talking about, as it is a topic that everybody in this world must know about and wants to hear about. So let's get into today's video. So today's video is actually about relationship and situationships. Now there are a lot of YouTubers on YouTube who have spoken about relationship and situationships, and it's great, and I feel like I also want to bring my opinion and my input to it as well. So yesterday I sent out a broadcast on Snapchat telling people to send me their questions and their situations, whether it's personal or it's just an everyday situation they want to know an answer about. So I took in some questions and there were a lot. So unfortunately, if your question is not answered in this video, I will make sure to make a part 2 where your question will be answered. So let's begin. So question number 1 that I was asked was, Amma K, how do I deal with a breakup? Now breakups are one of the worst things to go through, whether you're male or female, because it's always difficult to detach yourself from someone you've either been with for a long time, or you've grown with, or you've progressed yourself into, because some people need other people to be able to find themselves, and going through that journey with them and then having to leave them after for whatever reason possible is one of the most difficult challenges ever. So with me personally, there were like 3 things that I always remind myself to give myself the strength to move forward. One of them is always remembering why you're leaving that relationship and what was the reason why you're leaving. You can't just wake up and say today I'm leaving this guy or I'm leaving this girl. There was a reason why you're leaving. Maybe there's someone, maybe the person, bro, I can't speak today. Maybe the person you were with has done something to you continuously, or has done something just once and it's literally blew you off straight away. So I always remind myself of what this person has done, and you can never say that I've given him so many chances, I'm sure this time he will learn or she will learn, and then go back to them again. Once you've given a human being, not a man or woman, just in general, a human being, a couple more chances and they haven't changed, boo-boo, they're not changing for life. Okay, so always remind yourself what they did to you, so it can give you the courage to know that you're more than that. That leads me on to the second part, knowing my worth, knowing that me as a girl, what I can bring to the table as a participant of this relationship. I know that I can be loyal. I'm a person, I'm supportive to this guy. Do you know what I mean? Always counting the pointers of you. What can you bring forward? And so if you are a woman or a guy who can bring so much good forward, why should you sit down for somebody else to treat you this way? So always knowing your worth and always remembering what this person has done to you will always make you feel so confident and have more strength, basically, to move on in that part of the relationship. And the last thing as well is, as a Christian as well, is always remembering that if this one didn't work, I'm just going to pray that God will direct me to the better path. So knowing that some people nowadays, they tend to say that, oh yeah, God has got the right guy for me, which is true, or God has got the right woman for me, which is 100% true. And we may go through these relationships and they may break and they may fall, but losing your hope and your confidence doesn't help you. Coming out of that relationship will make you realize that there's more out there for you, meaning that this guy or this girl you were settling down with is nothing compared to what God has got prepared for you. So whenever I'm leaving a relationship, or my friends are battling through leaving relationships, that's the first thing I tell them. They should not worry, because the one that God has preserved for them is only for them. You wouldn't have to go through this again. So they should have faith and just keep up with prayer and ask God himself to give you the strength to get over this breakup. Question number 2. A certain girl asked me, Amma K, how do I notice the right guy out of many? Now some girls are out there who are getting moved to by not only one guy, not only 2 guys, probably even 5 guys, and they're finding it really difficult to find that one guy out of all of them, because maybe all of them are treating her the same way. It is very, very difficult, and you really don't want to make the mistake. Why? Because it would lead you to a heartbreak or a breakup, something that you really don't need right now. What I do is I see myself in the next 5 years. In the next 5 years, this is how I want to progress to become. This is how I want to be. This is where I see myself. Once you analyze yourself to that point of knowing where you want to be in the next 5 or 10 years time, then you analyze these other guys that are around you. When you look at their lifestyle right now, do you think that any of them, or one of them, or 3 of them could actually walk hand in hand with you with that journey? Yes, people do change, so you cannot judge from what they're doing now, but you must always put that into consideration. I may have, I don't know, a guy that goes to church, he studies business, he's really close to his family, you can see he's a family orientated man. Okay, great, lovely. And then you've got the other guy, he traps, he's humble though, he does talk about Christ one or 2 times, but he's always socializing, he's always at the nearest party, he's always at the nearest link up, right? So let's just take those 2. My friend, where do you see yourself? From that, where can you see yourself? What guy can you see yourself with? It is already written there. It can be difficult, but always make sure that whatever guy you do pick at the end of the day is not deceiving you. Because guys are champions at deceiving girls. You know, my mom says sometimes if a guy really likes you, pull 'em, yeah, till they cannot take it no more. Once they can't take it no more, then you know who really wants to stay and who really wants to go, or who was here just for a temporal reason. So girl, take your time, analyze yourself, and analyze those guys that are moving to you, and see if you can see yourself with them in a couple of years. Question 3. A certain lady said I should talk about desperate girls who lower their worth because of guys. Now, if you are my friend and I talk to you about relationships, you will know how much I hate desperate girls. Oh my god. My head is even hurting me. Oh my god. Girls who lay themselves down for a guy who doesn't care about them. Girls who open themselves too much for a guy that doesn't care about them, doesn't even treat them right. But just because of what? Maybe the guy is bait, so she wants a little bit of fame. Or because he's cute and he's buff and more. I don't know, he's got a little bit of shmoney. So you want to make yourself so desperate for the guy. Are you alright? Don't do that. Listen, every woman has their worth. You have your importance for a reason. If you do not think that this guy that I'm with can see that, don't lower yourself. Do not lower yourself by becoming so desperate. Oh, because he doesn't give you enough attention, so you decide to go and spend all your bank account on him, because what that will make him, you know, come and give you attention. No, stop. You will know when a guy wants to be with you. You will know when a guy wants to waste his time. You will know when a guy wants to be desperate for you. As a woman or as a girl, you should always be wise when it comes into relationships. It's difficult, especially if this is your first relationship, but I am sure you've walked with friends who have been through a lot, and they have probably told you about their story. Don't lower yourself for anybody, because when your husband comes, you wouldn't have to do anything. You will know if this guy is for you, because you wouldn't have to lift up a finger to do nothing, but just say I love you. That's how you know that, damn, this nigga though. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Don't be desperate for a guy who doesn't care. It's different if both of you are putting the input into the relationship. Both of you are being desperate for each other. That's fine. But if you're only putting a lot into it and being desperate, stop. Just stop it and wait for your right guy. So a certain girl asked me, what do I do if my boyfriend's best friend is a girl and I don't really talk to that girl? Don't get involved. Why would you wanna? Don't let that affect you. I know it's crazy to know that your boyfriend's best friend is a girl and not a guy. It's a bit, you know, higgy haga just a little bit. But you shouldn't have to worry if you talk to her or not, because you should trust your boyfriend. You should trust him to know that 1, he won't do anything stupid with this girl and they're just friends like he proclaims. And 2, you don't have to be friends with all your man's friends. Do you know what? Sometimes it's actually better not to be depending on the circle of friends he holds. So in relation to, I don't feel like it should be a problem. If you trust your boyfriend, leave it like that. You don't have to talk to her. What do you need to talk to her about? Are you two going to be talking about your boyfriend to her? Why does she need to know about your relationship businesses? She doesn't need to know nothing. If he decides to go and tell her, that's their friendship bond. That has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it. If you trust your man that your man ain't going to do anything with this girl, then you're fine. Don't worry about it. Because you can never come into a relationship and try and ruin a guy's circle of friends. You don't have to be friends with her. You never came into his life to be friends with her. You came to date him. Fair enough, she's part of the circle. A relationship only lasts long with communication and understanding. So you must confront him and let him know if you have a problem with it. Then you guys can discuss it. If he takes it overboard, then you know that, okay, something more is there and you need to drop out of the way, because you don't want to be the third wheel, or you don't want to be involved in any of that. So that's my opinion towards that. Question number 5. This is a situation that was brought to me by a certain lady, so I'm just going to read it out and I'm going to give my input. She said, I'm okay, I'm in the relationship, I'm happy with my man. My very good friends have drifted from me, as in we're not friends. I don't want to lose them, but they're strong-minded. I know that they're genuine and were genuinely there for me. I feel lonely, I'm at uni. I don't know if the friends I've met are genuine. I want my good friends back, and I understand I've pushed them away and focused on my boyfriend because he's my man and closer to me. Damn. Now, if you've been in a long-term relationship, you would have experienced this, and I am a victim of that. If you really want your friends back and you're still with your man, build up courage and speak to your friends again. I don't know, text them and say you want to link up. Through the text, you will obviously know if they still feel the same way towards you. That is how you can alarm yourself to know that, okay, they still want to be my friends. Because if you've titled them as good friends, even though they're strong-minded, you should still be able to, they should still be able to come at your need. Maybe they feel the same way. You know what I mean? There does come a point in a girl's relationship where she does tend to push away her friends and focus on her man, because now her man has become her best friend and has become literally her everything. So she really doesn't need her friends again. It is normal for that to happen. So if you are going through that, girls, and you feel like you are drifting away your friends, make sure like you don't drift them away too much, because then you will always want there's always going to be a different type of friendship you're going to have with your boyfriend and your friends, and you'd always want to have both around you at all times. Because imagine if you go through a situation with your bae, even though it's not always wise for you to say your relationship situations to everybody or even to your friends, sometimes some girls actually do need that sense of comfort. So in your case, baby girl, I feel like you should confront your friends. I don't know, text them for a link up or something when you get back to, I don't know what uni you go to, but if you come back, for instance, in London, you guys link up and you talk about it, and then try and build up, your little friendship tower again and see where it can go from there. And the thing with going to uni and knowing if your friends are genuine, you just have to take your time, because uni is a whole long 3 years, and majority of it you probably might not enter second year and third year with the friends you made in first year. So just take your time. I feel like first year is just you do you type of thing. It's not all about socializing. Yeah, you want to be comfortable in uni and fit in, but at the same time it's all about you do you. So with your friends that you've made in uni, just take your time to progress that friendship, because at the same time you're still wanting the friendship you had with your good friends, but at the same time you also don't want to fall into a bad set of friends. So confront your old friends and see where it goes from there. A lady asked me, how can I maintain a long-term relationship? For me, I feel like being able to maintain a long-term relationship involves understanding. Listen, you must love this person. Screw understanding for a second. You must love this person. Love is not a gentle thing to play with. It's not a easy thing to enter yourself into. It is the most sensitive thing you can ever engage yourself into, because love can fix a person's life and love can destroy a person's life. You need to make sure you love this person with all your heart, because love comes with so many things like sacrificing, you know, putting yourself down on the line for someone, becoming selfless. If someone was to ask me, Louisa, what is love, or what does a relationship inquire? I would say a relationship inquires when two selfish people, that means I think of myself, he thinks of himself, we come together and we become selfless. So now we don't think of ourselves anymore, but we think about the person who we are in love with or who we're trying to build a relationship with. So with me, I feel like you need to love the person enough to sacrifice and to just let life go for that person. Be able to have strong understanding in a relationship, because you need to bear in mind, two of you may be from the same country or from the same area, but you both have different backgrounds and upbringings, so his opinion might be different from your opinion. So you need to know how to be very, very understanding. Otherwise your relationship would just be a roller coaster. It would be arguments every day. So to help you maintain a long-term relationship, you must love the person, you must understand the person, and understand things that may come and go in your relationship. And if you're a Christian, put God in the center of your relationship. It will help so much, because there are so many scriptures in the Bible and lessons in the Bible that can help you sort out situations in your relationship. So being able to have that beside you at all time, it can really, really, really help your relationship to last long. Another question that I was asked was, Amake, do you believe in soulmates? I believe everybody has a somebody for them. No matter how long you will wait, no matter what you may go through in previous relationships, you have a somebody waiting for you. And it's God's timing to give it to you. Whether you are a Christian or whether you're not a Christian, everybody has an appointed time. It is written in the book of life that Abner will go and meet Kofi, or Thomas will go and meet Sarah, and the way they'll meet Sarah is through this specific way. I believe in soulmates, and I believe everybody is destined to have somebody. And the last question is, Amake, do you think love just happens, or do you have to have a certain mindset? Meaning, do you have to be ready to be in love? Okay, love isn't something, like I explained before, love isn't something that is just you throw it out there and you're in love. Love is a very sensitive thing to go through. I feel like you do have to be mentally ready for love, because you don't want to be, how do I say, you don't want to make someone else fall in love with you when you're not mentally ready to be loved or to show somebody loved. That's why they personally believe that relationships and marriage and stuff is when you become an adult. I feel like for you to be in love or to enter into a relationship, you have to be ready, because a relationship doesn't only come with you guys going out and taking selfies under the lights in Oxford Street during Christmas Day. No, that is not what early relationship takes in. You are about to join a commitment with somebody. You have told the person, I'm never going to leave you. Do you know what that means? If this guy you're with now becomes a cripple, you're not leaving this person. You've promised this person you're not leaving them. You're not going anywhere. You can't just come and go like that. That's not how love plays games. If you tell somebody you love them, that's you telling them, I'm ready to sacrifice everything for you. So guys, this brings us to the end of the questions relating to relationships and situationships. I hope those that asked me questions and that I answered your questions today, hopefully my advices and my opinions helped you guys to sort out your situation. For those that I wasn't able to answer your question, I will make sure to make a part 2 video for you guys. If those questions are going to be a bit long, then I will make sure to make a part 3, as long as everybody's questions have been answered. And yeah guys, don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up this video. Shout me out, shout out a girl and support me, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.